It is time to make some tough choices as far as taking out tomato plants. Definitely getting close to time to make those calls. And it's always hard when you look up and you see some flower buds. So this guy was salvageable. You can see I took off all of the dying and or diseased material. And then I just gently bent the plant to point downward so that it's not so tall up in the air. I think we should get a few more fruits, at least. Maybe more. There's quite a few on here. Enough that it is worth me taking the time to clean this up, give it a second chance, just for a little bit, until the end of October. I think we have enough time to get some more fruit. So I'm going to water it really well. It's time. I'm going to go ahead and fertilize it again. It's been a long time, and I think this guy will really perk up and be happy. Okay, now that we got the two remaining lower deck container tomatoes taken care of, we're going to focus in front of my upper deck. And I have this one plant here. This is Blazing Star. It's in the ground, but you can see there's a lot of cleanup that needs to happen. There are some tomatoes that do need to come out of this area. And here we go. Yes, so there's a Jamestown. He's got a couple little tiny fruits there hanging on, but we're going to take him out. I have Tennessee Suited. He has actually grown towards the deck railing as well. There is a lot of growth up there, new growth, kind of intertwined with Blazing Star. I'm not sure if I should keep him or not, but I may just let him hang on and see what happens up there. Because it is no, it's not. It's a dwarf. Yeah, I may have to keep an eye on him. So here we are post cleanup. You can see I did keep the Tennessee Suited. He's got all that growth up there. He could put some flowers out. It's getting kind of late for waiting on flower development. If he's already got some flowers, that would be awesome. I would be willing to wait. But I think for now, we'll just let him slide through and see how he does. This Golden Marconi here also in this container didn't do too well. We are going to keep the Blazing Star. There are lots of fruits in development, lots of flowers. You can see the vines are quite long and they are down in the ground there. This plant is Foxfire Pink, and it is still slowly producing. It is probably getting towards the end, but there are some fruits there. So I cleaned it up. All the dead, dying leaves are gone. You can see the vines are still nice and green. So hopefully we will still get some more fruit production from this small section here in front of my deck. I did take out Jamestown completely. That container is now empty, as you can see, and ready for something for fall. Not sure yet what I'll put there, but I definitely will utilize that space. I ran inside for just 1 minute to get something. When I came out, squirrel had grabbed one of the tomatoes out of my bin and started eating. Moving up to the upper deck, I've got 4 or 5 containers with nightshades up here on this upper deck. Mainly a couple eggplants that have been struggling because they've been inundated with hornworms. So I'm going to go under each leaf and pick off all the hornworms I can find. I do have 2 purple heart plants up on this deck in containers. Both will get pulled today. They both are not doing well. They're already overcome with disease. And then I do have 1 pepper, we'll see here in a minute, that is doing quite well. It is a Golden Marconi, much better than the one in front of the deck. So we'll take a peek at those guys, and I'm going to get it all cleaned up, get the pots fertilized, watered well. Okay, so now we've got a backside view of the plants in front of my deck railing. You can see the walkway is kind of being overtaken by this Blazing Star. So I'm going to clean it up on this side as well so that my family is not running into this plant and the dog when they come up and down the stairs. But you can see we've got some nice fruits coming on, getting bigger every day, some flowers. This is one of my keepers for 2025. So looking much better post cleanup. Now, we're going to talk about that golden marconi on the upper deck again because it has a hornworm on it, and the hornworm has parasitic wasps. So I don't kill my hornworms. I relocate them just in case they have parasitic wasp eggs in development that haven't opened or started. I mean, I have had it where I remove a hornworm, the next day the parasitic eggs show up. I don't know how it works. So I do not take out my hornworms and kill them. I just relocate them. Now, if the birds want to eat them, that's fine. That's their business. But yeah, that's just what I do. Enter the backyard, kind of in a low part sun location. I have this heirloom Whitmore, and I'm going to let him continue to do his thing. I am hopeful I'm going to get those fruits. I have been waiting and waiting all summer. Kind of finicky heirloom plant. I was able to get 1 or 2 fruits last summer. No seeds, maybe 1 or 2 seeds in the whole fruit. We are still in the backyard to the right of the lower deck. I have 2 in-ground L-shaped beds. The first one we're going to look at in the foreground is my bed with early girls. Early girl indeterminate. And then the L-shaped bed in the background, we'll see in just a second, that is also an indeterminate Eva purple. So if you have some indeterminates in the ground, they still are relatively healthy. We're going to talk about a trick you can do to extend their growing season into fall. The first step would be determining, is this plant viable enough, healthy enough for this procedure? So in a nutshell, basically what we're going to do is clean up the vine, remove any leaves that are remaining, and we're going to drop this vine down to the ground. And it will start to grow roots where the stem is meeting the soil, and we may get offshoots growing up, but we will definitely increase hydration, nutrition. So that's step 1, assess, is the plant viable? When I moved over here to the Eva purple bed, things look different. Didn't look as viable to me. I didn't see any flowers. I see a lot of brown. Some of the vines are starting to just turn completely brown and kind of shrink up and look horrible. Had some hornworms over here too, so some of the leaves are missing. These plants have been struggling. So for me, I decided Eva purple's got to go completely. So now I need to assess the early girls. Which of these 4 plants are worth saving? 2 were not. 2 were. One was looked much better than the other one. The second one, I thought I'll give it a shot, and we'll see how that does. Great experiment, right? I like to take chances and always push the limit and find out more information for the future. So it looks like an overwhelming mess to tackle these vines, and it was, especially because of all the weeds down on the ground. All of the Eva purples are removed. I had a few small little fruits to pick off. They're nice and shiny. They should change on the counter. Took everything out, including the roots, because I always want to look for root node nematode. And down in the south, that's a problem. But for the most part, the roots I pulled up all looked fairly well. Didn't see any issues. So Eva purple is gone from this bed. I have 1 more plant in the tomato tunnel. But as I was cleaning up, I was really surprised to realize one of my suckers from Prudence Purple was still alive. So I cleaned him up. Going to give him a shot, see how he does in the cool upcoming fall temperatures. We've really cooled off the last 2 weeks. It's been really, really nice. Even though it's still in the 80s, it doesn't feel like 80s at all. It has just been so incredible. So he's getting a second chance. I did kind of pull him down as far as I could, buried a little bit of the stem so that he can get more roots developing there. Oh, forgot to tell you, planting peas. Where Eva purple was will now be peas. I've never tried this. It's sweet gem, so hopefully they're good. Snap peas. This bed is completely done. It's even planted out for fall. peas along the trellises. I've got beet seeds down in the front part of the L that will be facing the sun. And then I've got cabbages that I have just direct sown a bunch of them just to see what I can get to germinate. And then I'll relocate some, leave one under each of the first 3 mesh containers. And then I'll probably put about 2 or 3 over on that side of the L. Really making progress. So the Eva purple is completely gone. Now I have moved up to early girl. 2 plants have been removed. 2 plants remain. I'm thinking about doing a major cleanup, keeping what has still potential, and then I will clean up this bed, remove weeds, water it really well, make a very shallow trench. I'm going to bury most of this vine, not all of it, most of it. I'll probably bring this one down on the ground and then support it on this last trellis. So a lot of this will be under the soil and develop some roots. And I think I might get some offshoots coming up from the suckers. Definitely this will continue to grow. I'm just, thinking maybe a few more tomatoes that way before our first frost. I've been doing the same thing with this guy, halfway in the process here. This one actually had a lot of fruit that wasn't quite ready. So I want to try to salvage those fruits. I did pick some as I was cleaning up. So that's what we're going to be left with. The only problem in this area, those are either chickmonk holes, vole holes. They're definitely not, thank goodness, yellow jacket holes, because nothing has come in or out. They've been here for at least 2 months, month and a half. Pretty sure it's chickmonk, but most likely it is vole holes. And I could dig up this whole bed, put down some wire mesh, put all the soil back. I mean, you have to go down like 2-3 feet. It's a big job. I have some lines. That's my water line running right through here. So I really can't do that in this area. I'm just going to have to plant things they're not going to try to eat underground. Now they do destroy roots sometimes of plants. I just got lucky this summer that these early girl roots seem to do okay, even with these tunnels right here. So I'm not sure what will be in this bed for fall. I'm just going to focus on right now with these 2 plants that I'm trying to salvage. The problem is in this bed is a lot of one of my favorite plants. I'm already starting to pull them up and make a nice pile, and then we will go replant them somewhere else, or even in this same bed. And it is forget-me-not. This is the type that's perennial for me. They come back every year. They're so cross-pollinated at this point. I have white, purple, pink, and blue. It's just glorious. It's one of the first flowers in the spring here. And they spread like weeds, which I do not mind one bit. But I do want to try to save as many as I can. They're just kind of intertwined with all the weeds. But they do come up really easily. Very shallow roots. Alright, so for this plant, you can see all of the leaves, foliage is removed. And I have just put it down at ground level. I'm going to water it really well and then push that soil over top of the stem. It's touching the ground. There's not much left, right? But there are 2 baby tomatoes still in development. I really would like those. But I do think this will extend this plant's life. And I think you'll be surprised to see how much offshooting we get here really, really soon. So now I'm going to do a similar process with this one. You can see I've cleaned it up quite a bit. It does have more leaves, so it will have a better shot, I would say. Yeah, so I'm going to probably take that one. I might take it this way as well. We'll see. That one was much more trickier. Some of the vines are twisted up in the trellis. You can see it naturally just wanted to take the same course. Fortunately, I did lose an underdeveloped fruit in the process, but we got a lot of contact with the soil, and hopefully these other fruits will get bigger and we'll get some future growth, maybe. You guys will have to come back and check and see, because Yeah, I can't, I got to get this video posted. So we've got the root base of both plants. You can see I have half-heartedly attempted to bury the stem. I do have a bag of in-ground soil I'm going to go get from out front and just pour over most of the green areas that are touching the ground. This is a great way to extend your plant's life. If it's starting to struggle a little bit and you still got some growing time left, if your plant is relatively healthy. These were the only two that I thought were good candidates from the early girl variety. You can see they're nice and green still. And there we go. This L-shaped bed and that one completely flipped around to include the tomatoes. Impossible fall gardening. I think these actually will do well. Remember, it's two plants, two separate vines that is underneath the soil. And then I've got them trellising out here. And I think we will get a few more tomatoes. I think this was worth the effort. We've made it to the green pepper bed. You will notice lots of weeds in this area. And look at my poor green peppers. We need to work on this area quite a bit. Very overgrown, needs a lot of support for those very fragile, heavy branches. And that basil needs to get pruned as well. And this is my big slicer raised bed in this area. There should only be one, possibly two plants still alive. The other 2 to 3 have died. But before we work on those two jobs, we really need to pick these cherry tomatoes. They have exploded again in fruit that's ripe and ready. And I'm going to make that same recipe again, the Boursin cheese viral recipe. It is so good, y'all. I love it. Yep, it's time for the ladder. And I will quickly pick all of these yummy tummy cherry tomatoes. I do have tomatoes out front in my full sun front yard location. We will not be looking at those because they've been on their own. I have been minimal care for them, and the deer have been definitely munching on them. Tomato tunnel is all cleaned up. For a very short time. Now we need to work on this raised bed. There's just one plant left alive. Made her sandwich. We're going to clean him up. Take out the Kellogg's breakfast. It is now completely done. But look at all these cherry tomatoes. I'm going to weigh it, but I'm going to guess 4.5 pounds. And I found some more tomatoes, bigger tomatoes. All right, guys, the scale only goes up to 5 pounds. Let's see if I am right. 4 pounds, 6 ounces. That was pretty spot on. I'm pretty impressed with myself, which is silly, I know, but yes. So 4 pounds, 6 ounces of cherry tomatoes. We have picked at least, let's say, 5 more of these throughout the whole season, maybe more, because sometimes I just go and eat them. My point is, put some plants in the ground in the spring. You never know what will come from it. So we've had a great bounty of cherry tomatoes this summer. Definitely something you can do that is so easy. They're much easier than, say, a big slicing tomato. You definitely can grow cherry tomatoes. I'm going to leave some here for snacking for later. Not quite ripe. Get busy. As I'm over here cleaning up, I am super shocked that this Kellogg's breakfast is wanting to keep going. It's actually putting off new growth. And that fruit there is actually from Kellogg's breakfast. Just like on our deck, the white containers, I have 2 plants left. One is Kellogg's breakfast in the container, and the other in the container is made her sandwich. Same thing here. I thought Kellogg's breakfast was done. It's not. Mater sandwich is still growing strong. Very interesting. So after some major untangling and thinking things through, this is actually Mater sandwich here on the right. It is the one that had the red fruit on it when we first came in through the tunnel. It had a worm in it. That's why I threw it down there. So even though all of this growth was over here earlier, it all belongs to Mater sandwich. This tiny bit hanging on here is actually Kellogg's breakfast. And it is just barely hanging on. So I'm going to take it out. You can see it has a little bit of green. Just a little, but it's coming off of a dead main stem. We're going to take it out. We are going to leave Mater sandwich. I will continue cleaning it up. But overall, I think it will still produce some fruits for me as long as we keep the worms off. I may need to come out here and look for some army worms and or maybe spray a little BT here and there. But definitely we go ahead, we'll take this breakfast, Kellogg's breakfast out. And pepper bed is cleaned up slightly. Didn't do the best job, but I did take off some spoiled fruits. Picked the ones I thought were ready. Left on some to get a little bigger. There's quite a few left on here to get bigger, actually. But one thing I need to do desperately is water this bed. It's extremely dry. Very, very, very dry. As you can see, I've been neglecting things quite a bit. My hydrangea that was in here is actually dead from lack of watering. Hot heat last month, lack of watering, and I think it's toast. Yeah. Different angle and view of the pepper bed. I see one that I probably missed, a big one, right in there in the center. Oh well, I get it. I gotta get these guys watered. There's so many peppers on there. And then I did leave Mater sandwich in the background. 99% sure I'm gonna pull Kellogg's breakfast. Although I'm tempted to do an experiment, because the header, the top of the plant, at least from this stem, kind of looks healthy. Thinking about cutting it and rooting it and removing all of this. This is kind of amazing that it put off this sucker or new growth from a stem, from an armpit area, and it looks so healthy at the end of the season. Because look at the rest of it. It's all brown. It's amazing. He's got another one coming off right there too. It's pretty amazing. Resilient. I will say that for this heirloom Kellogg's breakfast. I noticed back over in the tomato tunnel, those radish flowers that I kept blooming. I didn't pick them or pull them earlier in the season. Well, now the pods are completely dry, so I can just pick these, take them right back over where they came from originally in this bed under the tomato tunnel, and just sprinkle those seeds. And now we'll have more radishes just from all of the seed pods that we left in place. Another problem this time of year is I'm finding lots of little tomato seedlings, and I'm not sure what to do with them. It's kind of sad to have so many babies. Some are actually kind of big. I'm finding around the garden. When I make this Boursin cheese viral hack recipe, I kind of look at the original as a base, and then I do my own thing. I like to do at least 3 cups of the cherry tomatoes, 1 of the circle of cheeses, lots and lots of fresh garlic sliced up, I do some seasoning. I like this Green Goddess that I get at Sam's. And then lots of good olive oil, and you bake it. I think it's 375 or 400 for like 20 to 25 minutes. Let it cool off a little bit when you take it out, and then smush it up. It is so delicious, guys. All right, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.